Welcome back to any of you that joined us earlier for Mystics pregame. This is the Mystics Outlook. We got Cardell Dudley Jr., Wilson Tarver Jr., and Cardell. A lot of the things you talked about during pregame. One of the biggest things, her name is right here up on the screen. Young leads the Aces past the Mystics, 83-76. Throughout this season series, it's like every game that they've played, she became more and more disruptive or destructive rather to the Mystics. We saw Washington start slow. They found their way back in that second quarter, starting that quarter with amazing defense. I think it was like a 9-0 run to start that quarter to kind of settle back into the game after a slow start. But she got loose again. In the third quarter, we see them kind of settle back in. Fourth quarter, she gets loose again. Then other folks join in. I also thought, the last game we talked about the Aces not getting a lot from their bench. Randomly, it helps when you have random champions off your bench. And Jewel Lloyd, there was a Jewel Lloyd sighting tonight, and that hurt Washington as well. But those small things that we talked about after last game, they reared their ugly head. The free throw line hurt. It's another game where they lost last game by 10. This one was also close. They got to tighten up those little things. You can't beat great teams like this. Your thoughts on this tonight?
Yeah, they didn't do anything that they needed to do to win this game. And they still could have won this game. That just goes to show you they're right there. They just the little things. Jewel Lloyd, we talk about it on the Wizards side of things. It's certain players that are Wizards killers. Certain players that are Mystics killers, and Jackie Young is now on that list for sure. It's not even just that she scored 32, had 15 in the first quarter, 10 or 14 from the field, 5 or 8 from deep, 7 or 8 from the line, 5 assists. She had 1 turnover. It's the way she got her points. ISOs, threes. The one thing that just constantly happens, especially in the fourth, all ball actions, all ball curls, backdoor cuts, screen and slips. People just constantly falling asleep. That split second they fall asleep ball watching, or they're not in a proper position for the non-defense. They're finding her, and she's getting a layup. The chemistry between her agent, where Asia caught it deep in the post, they went to double, and she hot potatoed it right out to Young, and she hit that big 3, which was deflating, and put them right back up 3, I believe. Just stuff like that, man. Like, she's not even killing them off like ISOs and stuff like that, man. Nah, she's killing them within the flow and just reading the defense, just taking advantage of what the defense is allowing her to have. And that's just high IQ basketball, high IQ championship basketball. And the Mystics, again, showed tonight they're young, man. They're just not there yet. But they're knocking on the door. But knocking on the door isn't going to beat the Aces. Another thing, you can't turn the ball over. They came back and turned the ball over 17 times, gave it 21 points. You got to keep them off the free throw line, 25 or 27. Well, can't let them be efficient from 3. They shot 40% from deep. The only thing that made this game close was that the Aces shot 40% from the field. Other than that, it would have been ugly. You know what I mean? And this is what the Mystics shooting 50% from the field, 40% from deep. They missed 8 free throws, 8 of 16, killed them. And if they hit their free throws at the efficient rate, totally different ball game. Even with the turnovers, even with Jackie Young doing what she doing. Now, the flip side is they probably did one of the best jobs of the season on Asia Wilson. Asia Wilson only had 15, 6, and 4, but she's 5 of 14. That's about the best you're going to do with her. You know what I mean? You gave yourself a chance, but you didn't do the other things that were necessary. Yeah, and Jewel Lloyd, she came off, had 13 points, hit some big threes, 4 from the free throw line. And most of her things was, just, I don't think people understand when you set screens, you oftentimes become the most dangerous person on the floor. And that's how she got open. She set screens. They fell asleep. They worry about Jackie. They worry about Asia. Even Chelsea, what she might do, even though Chelsea didn't have the best game. And next thing you know, Jewel Lloyd's open and she's hitting, making shots. We know what Jewel Lloyd has done throughout her career. So for us, it's like, nah, you can't. I don't care what her role is now. She can heat up, even if it's just enough. And it was just enough to give them the edge to win a game. The main things that they needed to do, the 4 things I stated in the pregame. All right, do somewhere, Jackie. That didn't go down. Slow them down from being efficient from 3-point range. That didn't happen. Don't turn the ball over. That didn't happen. Defend without fouling. That didn't happen. And the biggest casualty of the fouling was Kiki. She got in foul trouble early, pretty much didn't play the rest of the game. So, yeah, they didn't do what was necessary to pull out the win. That's why they lost back-to-back games for the first time in a long time, a few weeks. So now I think with this loss, it drops from the 8th. Luckily for them, the team out of 8th is not really close, but still, they got to figure out some things because now every team is going to study film and see what the Aces did to beat them, and they're going to try to duplicate that.
Yeah, I think that was the most frustrating tonight was how many times I get that the ball goes in the post. You want your guards to dig down, but also just knowing who you're leaving. Some people you can't leave to dig down because, like you were talking about with Jewel, we've watched her damn near entire career. They were leaving Jewel to dig down. That ball's coming back out, and she doesn't care that you're closing out. That's a great look for her. And like you said, she got it going, and that was huge tonight. It was still a close game. If she had a quiet night, this is a different game. But that 13 was huge because you did a great job on Asia, as you mentioned. Did an outstanding job on Asia. But you throw it away when Jewel gets you 13, Jackie goes nuts, and they got solid contributions from their bench. I thought, I know Yamamoto only had 6 points. I thought they did a bad job in the way they were overreacting to her drives and sending her to the line too. You talked about how many times they just got to the line in general. It was just bad tonight, some of those decisions. Asia's, over the last couple of years, we've seen her extend her range. She's now a very capable, 3-point shooter. I get it. Someone's driving to the basket. If you're the big that's on Asia, hey, man, that's kind of sort of not your business. Best player in the world is at the 3-point line with her feet set. And that happened a couple times when she got going late again. She didn't have a huge night, but those are back-breaking possessions. And like you said, in a game, when you're playing a championship team, all those possessions add up. You can't have empty possessions. How many times in the second half did we see where Washington didn't get a stop, and then sometimes just folks being out of control, being in a rush, it's an offensive foul. Vegas gets the ball back, and it felt like every time that happened, I think it was Riley Turner got a couple charges, or Drew Lloyd stood in front of somebody running down the lane, and it felt like Vegas capitalized on every one of those possessions. And those are the things you can't afford. It's a championship winning team.
Facts. Shakira, man. Shakira. 29-8. She was balling. You know what I mean? Sonya balling. They need help, man. They need other people to join the party, especially defensively. You know what I mean? But nobody did a good job on Yana. You know what I mean? And she set the tone from jump. And like I said, that slow starting with her cooking. They got some things they're gonna clean up, like I said, because teams they're gonna watch the film, they're gonna see what they're going, and down the stretch, they was picking on the point guard position, ridiculous. It was whoever's playing point, they went at that person. It got to be more resistance right there, and I know you brought up what you were saying, Yamamoto. With the big guard Asia, that's none of your business. Just stay with Asia. The Ace is so cold. Eventually, they were going to see that, and then they was going to run an action for Chelsea or somebody, whoever, or Jackie, whoever primary ball handler. And now you got to react to that. You know what I'm saying? Because of who they are, and they're gonna kick it out to Asia. And that's really that's what they do, man. That's why they such a hard team to beat, man. So yeah, you can stay there for now, but eventually she'll all right, now we're gonna put somebody else in action. And you're gonna have to come or Jackie gonna get 40. So
Nah, you're right. But I'm right with you. They got to solve that position defensively because if you're that good of a defensive team, that almost negates how good you are on the defensive team because it's just a clear liability at this point when you're playing better teams. Um, they just hunted that position regardless of who was at it. Like I'm anxious to see. You know, obviously I know it's like you said, it's their first loss in a while. They won 7 straight. It's back-to-back losses here against the reigning champs. They get home Saturday. They'll be coming back home after this. I think Saturday they host the Sparks, which is the first of like 3 games at home, and then they're back out on the road again. My big thing is, as you said, with the seeding, how close things are with the playoff seeding. They're gonna have to figure out that kind of bigger lineup to solve that, so they can keep their spot, or at least get back and try to get back to where they were after that 7-game win streak. So I'm anxious to see if not if, but when that happens. Because I just don't think it's something where you can play around with it too much. Like it burns you, and that's when, like you said, some of the times with those lineups where it was Sonya, Cody, and Benaja out there, Sonya, Cody, and Michaela, it gives you a chance to hold up better on the perimeter. But when it's not, even if even whether it was Georgia or Flores in there tonight, Yamamoto, Gray, Lloyd, whoever had those folks on them, they were finding a way. They were getting feet in the paint, and that was just causing all types of hell.
for sure.
But it's up there. I think we know who it is, man. But
Yeah. Miss Young. Miss Young.
crazy. Xfactor for you tonight.
Joe, the 13 points. It's huge. Nobody else really summing up offense. Asia sporadically, but yeah, it was Jewel for sure. She was the difference.
Let's get to some of these comments. Get out of here. Again, appreciate you guys. Stayed up late, watched the game, and then decided to join us as well. Carlos Robertson missing free throws are almost like turnovers.
That's
Area 11T. This team is talented, but their decision making is too head scratching too often, especially dumb fouls and turnovers.
youngest team in the W, man. Youngest, and yeah, championship caliber teams, the elite teams, they have a way of exploiting your inexperience or your weaknesses, especially at the wrong time, winning time. You know what I mean? Late in the fourth, when you really see it come out. Against most of the teams in the league, you don't really see it that much if if the Mystics are playing up to their standard. But against the better teams and teams with veterans that know how to play, especially know how to play winning championship basketball, that's when it comes out. You really can see it.
Area 11T again. We need a guard that can consistently play the PNR as a threat. Would like to see Sonya utilize her off the dribble shot more there.
Again, you gotta understand who they're going up against, man. You know, it's Jackie Young at defend. Chelsea hasn't had a good offensive game yet, but she's always up there. She's always in the plus side of the plus minus because she can play defense. She's a strong guard. You got Asia back there, all world defender. Alyssa Smith, she damn sure ain't there to get buckets. You know, that's a plus. She's there to rebound, but play defense. I understand. They going up against the top 5 defense in the league, like a top defense. You know what I mean? And this is really a down year for them defensively. They still up there in defense, so it's not as easy as you think. Like she played the pick and roll to me well. You know what I mean? Overall, like she had 17 and 8 assists. She played the pick and roll well. Yeah, they clamped down on her in the fourth quarter because they knew she was the primary playmaker. They sent a lot at her, so she had to make the right reads. Otherwise, she would just force stuff and then we'd have been talking about how many turnovers she had. You know what I'm saying? And you can't just do that. You gotta take what's there against a good team. It's just up to her teammates to complete the play when she finds them. So nah, man, she was 17, 8 assists, 3 rebounds. I mean, 57% from the field. She ain't shoot well from deep and ain't get to the free throw line, but they kept her out the paint. You know what I'm saying? They made her a jump shooter and they crowded the paint. You know, it is what it is. And also you gotta understand it's a lot with the Mystic style and their makeup right now with their roster construction. It's a couple. It's no space down there. Is it Shakira? Is either Shakira Kiki or Shakira Lauren or Lauren Kiki? Is one or the other. You know what I mean? Then you got Asia and Nalissa down there. And ain't a lot of space down there, man. So you got to take what the defense give you sometimes.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think the other thing is the point you made a little earlier was just you playing championship level team, and they're gonna exploit your weaknesses and then magnify them at the highest degree. So your warts get shown in 4K or 8K rather when you play great teams, man. It just is what it is. But I'm gonna need Sonya to get back to showing up in the fourth to help close out games besides the free throws.
Like, see my response to the last question, man. You gotta know what you're going up against. And again, for her to have openings to get to the paint and try to get to the free throw line, other players got to show to the party other than Shakira. And that didn't happen tonight.
And what's it called? Kiki being in foul trouble, picking up a ton of silly fouls tonight, really hurt them because again, we know who their three is. They essentially didn't have anything from their third person because she was just not on the court enough.
Because you saw how Sonya, especially in the third quarter, she was getting downhill, getting to the basket at will. And I was like, keep it up. The Aces cut that off real quick.
All right, Doug Dame, Sankey said, not mad. They will learn from this experience. For that stretch of every other day, all things considered, we won. They're respected now. Teams won't be taking us lightly anymore.
I mean, they been had that, but yeah, they won't take them lightly. They're gonna play hard against them, but they don't fear them. You know, and this was a chance to kind of really send a message like y'all should start really being concerned and having some fear of us because we just knocked off the champs 3 times this season instead of being 1 and 2. You know what I mean? Also, I wanted to add to the last thing, the Aces are number 1 in fouls, number 1 in the league. They only commit 17.7 fouls, just under 18. They don't foul you. You do not get a lot of free throw attempts in them. So when you get to the line, you must hit your free throws, which the Mystics haven't done. Like they got to the line also, 16, which is 1 below their average. You made 8. If you make your free throws, you win the game.
You missed 8, lost by 7. And I was going to piggyback on that. The way that the Mystics play, like them getting to the line is also a big part of their offensive production too. Mm-hmm. So because of that being the Aces' superpower defensively, the fact that they can play that level of defense without putting you on the line 30 times or what have you. Like we seen during that win streak with the Mystics. They were at the line a ton during those games. Just putting people, the pressure they were putting on people was crazy. You not getting to the line like normal takes a big chunk out of your offense because we know what you struggle with because there's not enough credible threats at this point on the perimeter. Everything's so interior focused. So you don't have that. Their ability to play without fouling takes away a huge part of your production offensively. And then to double down on that, you go to the line and leave 8 on the table. You just couldn't afford like that grouping of things at all, man. You just couldn't. The decision making gets better playing in primetime games like this. They just got to go through it. That's part of the growth.
Yeah, it's part of the growth, but again, we're gonna see how the season ends. But I hope they're not in a position where they kick themselves for these 2 games, and then now they're the 8th seed, and you had the chance to try to fight for a home court series. And now you got to go on the road and face Minnesota, which is tough, 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 tough.
Yeah, I'm right with you. That's the thing I'm most concerned about is you had a chance because of these two games to be playing at home, regardless how things shook out. And now it's just which ring of hell are you choosing to go play in? Because if you end up in eighth, you're going to play an elite team in their building in the playoffs. And again, just what's your biggest point tonight being great teams. They magnify your issues, and it'd be great for a young team to be playing at home in the playoffs. That's all I'm saying. That's why they need Benaja, Laney, Hamilton to play more because we need the helping experience, especially late in the game. I mean, it's cool, but she just got here. I'm not tripping off her for these two games. The things that Cardell and I've mentioned, those are the things I'm kind of focused on. You can't miss 8 free throws. You can't keep turning the ball over like that. But yeah, I mean, that's obviously why they got her and why, the three of us were excited that they made that signing. But go ahead, Cardell.
Yeah, I don't even know she's had a lot of time to practice and know all the sets and really know her teammates yet. So yeah, you can't really look at her. And even with that, she's still contributing a little bit. But I think as she get familiar with the team and all the sets and all that, once she gets some time to practice with them even more, work out with them even more, you'll see a lot more of her. And then she'll be more comfortable and kind of pressing the issue because she knows what to do. But yeah, she's gonna be valuable down the stretch.
Yeah, Kiki on the boards. Smith had too many offensive rebounds tonight. Yeah, Nalissa had 8 boards. It felt like almost all of them were offensive, and they came at key times. Where if Washington secured the rebound, those are possessions that ended, and you can get out and run. And instead, Nalissa got those offensive rebounds. And again, championship level teams are going to make you pay for giving them extra chances, and that's what the Aces did. People keep talking about Sonya needs to step up. How can she when our other guards and wings are not scoring at all, says Carlos Roberts.
Yeah, it makes it easy for the defense to shrink the floor and really just crowd the paint because that's what everybody know. That's where their bread and butter is to score. They score from the paint, like they punish the Aces and points from the paint, 50-22. They dominated. And when you dominate a team like that, in that regard, you're supposed to win that. I mean, handedly. Yeah, so we just gonna crowd the paint because they can't shoot. Like, what we worried about? And they hit a couple threes, but it ain't enough to make the Aces come out there. You gotta hit about 2, 3 or 4 of them Jones. All right, we gotta adjust because they hit. That wasn't the case. You know what I mean? So only one they really worried about is honestly tonight was Shakira. Shakira was the one hitting from outside, and she only took 2 threes. So
Area 11 see now. This is why them not adding shooting this off season just didn't make sense.
Can't say they didn't add it. They're just not hitting shots. This players that's capable. They've done it. They're just not hitting shots. Again, they're going up against a good defense. And you're playing a young team. Most of these players are in their first year. Sonya and Kiki in the second year. Y'all gotta understand it's an adjustment. You know what I mean? And again, we said this even when they started their win streak before All-Star break. We said the second half of the season, teams gonna be in kill mode. They're gonna be in playoff mode because they're jockeying for position. So that's gonna be another lesson that they're gonna have to learn, and which they've learned the last 2 games. Like, oh man, this stuff real. Like, yes, it is. So you got to keep in mind what's going on. They experiencing a lot of things for the first time. So it's not as clear cut as just adding shooting. This offseason because there's players that are capable. They've done it. They've shown it. They're just not consistent with it. You know what I mean? So and at the end of the day, it's easy to say that. Like, where were they gonna get the shooting from? Who should they have signed in free agency, or you saying maybe in the draft go after somebody? Because there were a lot of shooters in the draft. If y'all don't notice, man, it ain't a lot of rookies making big noise outside of the, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not. Olivia's an outlier. We ain't even about to talk about
Yeah, discount her immediately.
Yeah.
Like that adjustment to the W is hard on all rookies, man. Even the ones that end up really, even the players that end up like good down the line, all of them don't hit the, they don't get to the W and go crazy their rookie year. Like it just doesn't. It just doesn't happen like that shit. We're talking about Jackie Young tonight, right?
Mm-hmm.
This Jackie Young ain't that Jackie Young. Like, she's amazing, but this is developed and polished Jackie Young. Like, everyone doesn't come in here kicking it, you know. Like you said, Olivia's an outlier. Candace was an outlier. Everybody doesn't come in doing that. Go ahead.
Matter of fact, wasn't Douglas supposed to be the shooter that they drafted?
Yeah.
She a rookie, dog. Yeah, man. She can't even. Yeah, it's other factors that it's the league, man. It's the pros. Look, those. Look, she was playing with Lauren. Lauren was killing. She was wide open a lot, man. Easy, just catch and shoot. W ain't going for that because now in the W, Lauren's getting pushed out the block. She ain't never experienced that. It's probably since she first started playing basketball, it's probably when she experienced that. Or playing, and whoever developed her game. I don't know if her parents played or whatnot, or a coach or something that was bigger and stronger. She was growing and developing. That's it. Pushing out the paint. And also the closeouts, quicker, longer defenders. So it's throwing you off. Now you got to shoot it quicker. And guess what? They don't have an offseason to prepare for that. They usually jumping straight from college right into the league and got to figure it out on the fly. So, yeah, that's the whole point of them drafting Douglas, because she was the sniper from UCLA. You know, it is what it is. And, like, even if you look at the first round, I pulled it up. If you look at the first round players, it's only 5 out of 15 players that are averaging double figures scoring. That's it. Led by Olivia. Everybody else is single digits.
Man, look, man, you said it's an adjustment, and that's the biggest thing. We've been talking about consistency all year long, and like that's like it's like the magic word, especially when you talk about a team this young. It'll happen at some point, but you can't trust it or anything off, out the gate. And again, like you talk about outliers, Washington last year, what they got out of Kiki and Sonia last year wasn't normal. That wasn't normal rookie stuff. So I think it's too early to to put any indictments on any of the youngsters right now. And it's a super young team, and even then, like some of the veterans that they have, like none of them exactly have been like known to be knocked down, prolific 3-point shooters. You know what I'm saying? Like this, that's not Jewel Lloyd, who's a prolific scorer in the W, fulfilling a role as a 3-and-D player. It's not the same thing. This is totally different. But got a lot more comments, so let's try to speed through these. Yeah, we definitely need a guard or wing that can get buckets when the offense gets stagnant. I think that's something maybe that guard thing, that point guard position we keep talking about, this thing, that's something to get addressed after the season to figure that out. But yeah, go ahead, Carl.
I've been saying it all season, man. That there's one glaring weakness at the position is that position. Period.
All right, and then the next couple comments are coming about what we were just talking about. Kay Colley, missed his fumble drafting a big, if we're being totally honest. Lauren Betts was not needed with Area Finn and Austin already there. Kiki Rice should have been drafted.
Okay. Oh boy. Let me see. I mean, it could be said, but Kiki is also battling injury. So if she ain't available, how can she have help? And again, what is the Toronto Temple record? I rest my case. So you got a young team. Kiki can play. I'm not saying that. Kiki can play. But you got a young
7-23.
exactly. So Lauren has contributed to that. Lauren is averaging 6 and 4 on the season in just 16 minutes. Her upside is different. You see what I'm saying? I'm sure they're looking at it. If we're going to make any noise, we're going to have to get through Jonquel, Stewie, the bigs down in Atlanta. We're going to deal with Asian. You're going to have to deal with the bigs. There's no way you're going to win without that. I'm pretty sure they're saying it's more than likely we will find a quality guard in every draft than there is a quality big. Lauren Best is 6'7". She has immense upside. You don't want to be facing that next 10 to 15 years when she really figures out the league. Like now, after this season, I'm pretty sure she's going to have a better grasp on the league. You know what? Let me get in better tip-top shape, which she didn't have opportunity to do. None of the rookies did because you're coming straight out of college. Let me get a better tip-top shape, get stronger so I can hold my position, add a few more tools to my offensive package. Then let's see. Now I know what to do. Let's see. And you don't want to deal with a force that you could have drafted. And she out there zone averaging whatever, like 18 and 12 over the next 10 plus years. That's the problem. And also I'm pretty sure at the time we're kind of scared organization. They didn't know what Shakira was gonna do, you know what I'm saying, with her contract situation. So you need that. I'm not mad at them drafting Lauren Best. It's not like she's unplayable or something like that. She's having a solid rookie year. But she's playing again behind basically two all WNBA bigs. She got to figure out the league. She has the right to be young too. You know what I mean? But yeah, Kiki hooping, no doubt. She's hooping. But look at the records. And the Mystics are the youngest team in the WNBA.
Yeah, I was just
go ahead.
Now I was just gonna say I'll just piggyback off the point, like what you're saying, and also if she's not here, the strength of that front court's not as strong. Like that is the fact that they're able to rotate that in and out gives them such flexibility because you can play her with Shakira and Kiki. Also, she keeps some of them out of foul trouble at times just because that's another set of 5 fouls. But also what'd you say, Cardell? 6'7" to 6'7". One of the things, even right now, while she's getting pushed off the block, how many games at this point in the season have we seen when she comes in the game, they throw the ball inside to her? And when has there not been at least 1 or 2 people digging down on her post catches? It's value, man.
Also, she's averaging 6 and 4. She's only playing 16 minutes a game. She's only averaging 16 minutes a game. Shakira and Kiki averaging damn near 30. So they're playing twice the amount of minutes. So what if she played 30? See what I'm saying? Now that average alone, now that's 12 and 8 as a rookie. And she's not even featured. That's just, here go a couple touches, offensive putbacks type stuff. So now you have a chance. I mean, I'm gonna look. Let me look at the per 100 possessions. Let me look at her minutes. Where am I at? $20 and 13 in the per 100, and then the limited amount of minutes she's averaging. Every team in the league will take 20 and 13. Trust me. So her upside is crazy. And then what if she's able to expand it? Now she's hitting the 18-footer or 3-point range, but what she does inside with her size and all that, she gets in better shape. Now she's more mobile. She can block more shots. She can get up and down the court, rim runs better and all that. It's little things. She's stronger. She holding a position. Now the screens hurt because you run into a brick wall and stuff. It's wearing people down. That's an animal. That's a different animal, man. And I'm sure that's what they banking on.
And then for the time that you have all 3 of them, that's an official 3-headed monster that everyone else in the league has to deal with. The big pick was fine, but Dulich was questionable since you need shooting. I go back to what you were talking about earlier, just rookies. I would also say what Dugalich brings to the table, her versatility. This is something that we'll see as time goes on. She's a rookie. And to your point, you talk about how much Lauren is playing. Dugalich is playing less consistent minutes in their rotation because that's another player that is a part of a loaded front court. And yeah, I think down the road, maybe you can see some lineups where maybe she can slide down, but that wasn't going to be this year. You just get into the W.
You also got y'all got to remember Dugalich 6'4". That's another big wing front court player that can do what needs to be done, do what needs to be done and stuff. And I take that back. She wasn't the sniper. She hit some outside shots, probably from mid range, but she shot 32%. So last season at UCLA. So she shot a lot of threes. She shot 89 threes, but she didn't shoot the most efficient either. She was efficient from the field, 50%, and from the line. But yeah, I mean, she got to prove. She got to show and prove. You know what I'm saying? But you got to give her a chance to show and prove.
Dave, yeah, this team isn't the measure for our decencies or deficiencies, probably. It's the aces, and we play tough. We're trying to get where they have been. We got to take our lumps. You're right. We got to take our lumps.
Experience is experience, man. The only way you can get experience is to experience it. Simple as that.
We could ask the GM that, oh, wait, she got fired.
We are not going there?
Nope. That's
too deep in the season? Is what it
is? Yep. Jackie Young in her prime, and she had to work to get this.
We ain't gonna say that. It was fairly a clinic.
Oh, I'm sorry. Had to work to get to this, I guess, from where she came into the league to this version of Jackie.
I mean, Jackie was cold. That's why she came out of school early. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, yeah, her first year averaged 6. Again, if you're talking about her average, yeah, she averaged 6 and 4. Same thing. And it's been a steady climb ever since. You know, it took her 4 years to become an all-star. And you want her coming out of school early. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Yo, man, it's the league. It's the pros, man. It's the highest level of what they do. It is not easy. It is not easy. And people got to stop trying to place the league, whether it's WNBA or NBA, with whatever level they've experienced the basketball. It is not the same. It's one-on-one. And if you played it, and if you played against an NBA player or a WNBA player or something like that, you will understand. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, the game is so fast. You can just see how they're moving with the decision making and stuff like that. If you don't know what you're doing out there, man, it's a long day. It's a bad day, as Ray Lewis would say. I'm talking about a bad day.
Now you got to multiply that fact upon that most of your team is experiencing that same thing at the same time. Back to the Dugalich conversation, as you went through, was never considered a shooter. That was a concern of hers, but didn't the GM want to add experienced vets to help them compete, which is why she got fired?
We don't know why she got fired. They never really confirmed that. And the thing about Dugalich is she wasn't a good three-point shooter, but she was an outside shooter from mid-range and stuff, like pick and pop type stuff. That's why she shot 50%. And that's how she got drafted, with her size. And they're hoping that can expand the three-point range like it has some of the other players. So, like, for instance, if Shakira, she got the ball and Shakira come and screen for her, and Shakira rolls, she coming off that screen mid-range, she should be dead-eye. That's not really the issue. The issue is when she get on the court, she can't really guard. You know, what's her position? And that's just something they got to figure out. And then again, she's behind Michaela, now Lainey Hamilton, and obviously Sonya. And then she's a rookie. So it takes time. But we're going to see. You got to give her time just like you give every rookie time.
To y'all's points, we have no issues. We're ahead of schedule. This team is overachieving. We will get there.
Yeah, and I think y'all forget, like, think about it. Rory was killing in college. Rory killed college.
Oh,
She couldn't get on the court, but they like her enough where they kept her on developmental contract. So they just ain't let her go. You see what I'm saying? That tells you how tough the league is. It's tough. It's a tough transition, especially for point guard trying to orchestrate things, and you got to defend, and you got to set everybody up, and you got to be able to knock down your own shots. And it's your first rodeo at it. It's tough.
and on top of all that, size of the guards in the W are usually some sizes. You didn't play against a ton of those guards at that size all through college on a regular basis.
Mhm.
You brought up Chelsea Gray. That is a whole different experience for college point guards. That's a whole different experience for point guards in the W as is. Doug Dame thought about that conversation earlier. Yes, we need Betts. That's not a knock against Betts. Betts is absolutely fine, but a PG was needed. They're talking about themselves. I feel what you're saying is tough. You can't draft it all in one draft. Got to make a decision. Look at the guards we get in upcoming drafts and have Betts. That's what they're looking at. Area 11T responded with, think we need someone like Caitlin Chin who has experience next to star players. And Doug Dame said, nah, we can get Hidalgo, Mike Nichols, Serge Strong, Caleb Blake, guards like that. Just be patient. Caleb Williams for Wiley. We're about to get an elite guard. One of them coming to us with this team. It's coming. We don't need bench players.
Man, listen, unless they implode the rest of the season and fall out of playoff race, they're not getting Hidalgo. Hidalgo, that's number one pick type talent. A lot of these guys will be up that. Now, I don't know what the Mystics are picking in 2027. I don't know if they traded or,
Nah, they got Chicago's pick. They got their pick and Chicago's pick.
Okay, so then, yeah, you got a shot at it then. So it depends on where they fall. Okay, so, yeah. Hell yeah, if they get the number one pick, Hidalgo. That's it. That's easy. That's no question. You know what I'm saying? So, but even then, it's going to be a transition for her. I like even with Rory in college, coming out of college, she averaged 8.6 assists, 3 rebounds, but she shot 45% from the field, 44% from deep, 71% from the line. Had 109 steals. Can't get on the floor. It's an adjustment. It's an adjustment, man.
With this team, I don't know if a rookie guard will be best since they'll have to wait on them to figure it out.
They're playing with one. More. She's a rookie. I mean, I know she was there last year, but she didn't play. It's different than watching than being there.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. She's just inconsistent. Like, she hit a big 3 late in the game. I mean, not late in the game, but in the second half, she's like, okay, all right, let's see if you can get going. Then she had one where she was probing, and she thought she had a step underneath the basket, and she thought she could hit the reverse layup. I forgot who was guarding her, and when she tried, and they swiped at the ball, and that thing went on the other side of the backboard. And I don't even know if she shot again. You know what I'm saying? So it's just that. And then they picked on her defensively.
Like you said, man, it's an adjustment. I just think sometimes fans got to just take a step back and get that. I know, yeah, we get excited about Olivia, but out there, again, I'm gonna keep drilling this down. What happened here last year was not regular. Rookies don't do that, and they had 2 of them do it. What's it called? They made back-to-back All-Star games. That's not normal, and you ended up with 2 of them. In a year, like you said, Cardo, when you talk about Betts, who knows what Betts, Dulich, Prosper, what have you, look like after offseason, knowing exactly what they need to work on, where they need to get better body-wise, and then after going through a full season and possibly postseason, what they look like here too.
Right. Or y'all saying get a point guard, but check this out. What if Chicago, if it falls, they get the number one pick somehow? Do you go get Juju and have a big backcourt with her and Sonya? Or do you go Hidalgo? See what I'm saying? Like,
yep. Still got decisions to make.
You got a decision to make, dog. You know what I mean? And you gotta see how she bounced back this year from the ACL, dog. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you can't go wrong with either one. You know what I'm saying? But those are good problems to have.
Very, very good problem. And that's the other thing. Like, I would take a wild guess. None of y'all expected them to be here at this moment, at this time with this record when they were drafting, right?
Hell
So
no, we
everybody
remember
just
y'all
relax.
comments earlier in the
Right.
first half.
So
Yeah, y'all was
again,
like, man,
I'm
they trash,
like,
fire the coach.
yeah, I ain't
the
trying to be a
hell?
horrible person. So let's just relax. Soak this in. They're young, man. Like Cardell said, like a lot of this, they just young. You go through this with young teams, and they are embarrassingly young. Every broadcast says the same thing over and over and over, and they're not just saying it just because. Now these kids are different. We're going to be good for a long time. Kay Colley says Chicago blessed us yet again. Yes, they did. They are the gift that just keeps on giving. I don't know how the Mystics hit them twice and got away, but shout out to them. Yet again, the damn agreeing to the Washington getting over on Chicago. Well, which one of them guards you most confident can hit an outside shot? Says it area 11T.
As far as what?
I guess talk about next year.
Draft.
Yeah.
Juju and Hidalgo, you said? There's plenty of them, man.
But think about this, right? After the past two drafts, whatever, they get to go into a draft and focus on legit just in area instead of 15, instead of a roster. Totally different. But again, that's what happens when you're just building, right? Just gotta relax a little bit, man. I get it, but they in a good place. Like they was just rumbling with the freaking reigning champs and came up short. In a good place. Now, come home, handle business, and see what happens. But Kay Colley said the dog and Sony played college together. The familiarity is already there.
So did Cassandra.
Yep.
And she has her struggles. You see what I'm saying? So I don't guarantee nothing.
Doug Dame said, Juju, bro, that ain't no decisions. We in the mix to get the first pick. And to the point where we saw what you just talked about. Yeah, people was bailing on the team. Y'all right. I mean, that was just early.
Bro, it's a decision. They got to sit down. A doggo code. We ain't doing that. Y'all tripping. And Juju coming off an injury, you got to look at that too. A doggo code.
And the big thing for me with Hidalgo is the one thing that they need the most is the thing she brings every day. So, like that thing is kind of like her superpower. And that's not going anywhere.
Yeah, that defensive thing, that's Muggsy Bowles like type defense. Like, dog, get the ball up. Somebody else gonna get this zone, you bring it up. That disrupts a team just off of that alone. She's special on both ends. Juju is prolific. She's got versatility. She can score. She can facilitate too. Rebound. But defensively, it's not even close. Even though Juju's bigger, she can guard more position. Man, Hidalgo, and she a pit book. Man, I mean this. I'm not, trying to disrespect, but she's ferocious, man. Like, you have to be careful with her, man. So hell yeah, they got to sit down and have a conversation about that. Hell yeah.
Dog, one of them things you need so bad. Like it lines up where Hannah's superpower is literally the thing that keeps you. This is a really good defensive team with the issues at point guard. What does it look like with that at the one defensively? Area 11T said, problem is that next expansion draft coming up. I mean, you got your key 6 and you live with it. Like, that's the other thing. Like, how many, we've had a couple expansion drafts. Not too many teams lost like too many key pieces. Kay Colley said Hidalgo has a 3-bar style play. Style of play reminds me of Skylar digging, especially that high arc shot.
Nah, I mean, she's unique. She's her own style. I don't really see Skylar in that mode, man. No, she averaged 5.6 steals last year, man. Come on, man. Like, who averages 5 steals?
And it lines up with the thing, like, what the hell are we talking about?
And average 25. And here's the thing: she didn't even shoot that well from deep. She shot 25% from deep, but she 83% from the line and 47% from the field. And she's at the
Also,
top of the scouting report every game. She different, man. Nah, it's a discussion.
also, the ability to get downhill and touch the paint, what it would do for this team. Like, was Hidalgo playing point guard, or was Sonya there?
The dog will always play point guard, man. That's why I probably Olivia left so she can develop that. They play the wing.
Love Hidalgo. She's a more size though. Juju, I seen live. She not like nothing. Either way, I'm good for real.
That's the size don't matter with Hidalgo, dog. Like that's a totally different beast. Like you can't pick on Hidalgo like you can pick on no more. Size is Bill Russell said it best. It's not what you have, it's what you do with what you have. Always remember that.
Yeah, I was gonna say that the only thing they have in common is the height. People were getting the ball out of their hands, so they wouldn't have to bring the ball up court against this young lady, game after game after game, dude. Like,
listen, man, that's all that was. She was the point guard. She was the point guard, though. Like she's 5'6". She's not gonna start at the 2. She's the point guard. So, but they wanted to get the ball out of their hands and all that stuff like that. So yeah, you got to play basketball, and they had capable playmakers just like Miles and Sonya's development too. It's just that's part of it. But she was when the roster came out, who was starting that point guard? It was her dog.
And then we saw Liv go to TCU so she could run her own show.
Yeah, dog. It wasn't Hidalgo starting at the 2. It was starting at the 3, man. Hidalgo was the point guard. Y'all gotta cut this out. Trying to be technical.
Again, Washington drops both games of the Aces after winning the first one. They lose the season series. Like you said, I believe you said they dropped the 8th after this. And then we got the Sparks coming into town on Saturday. So we'll see if Washington can do the thing that you talked about coming out of the break, which was taking care of business against the team you should take care of business against. So far they've done that. Want to see if they can rebound from these 2 losses and do that come Saturday and get back on the winning side of things, because it's important as they keep trying to jockey for playoff position and see how high they can climb. You had anything else, Cardo?
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate y'all being up this late with all these comments, man. We appreciate y'all, and we'll see y'all Saturday afternoon.